I've kind of had a suspicion for the past like 2 weeks or so. Today is the day. All right, box is open, test is out, and I'm going to go take it now. There is definitely no mistaking that there's 2 lines.
Are you serious? Harper, mommy's got another baby.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you are new here. This video was definitely not something that was planned. It's something that I honestly did not think I would be filming again. Bear with me as I try my best to talk about this and explain my story. I went back and forth on whether I wanted to first even post this, and then I also went back and forth on exactly how I wanted to post it. To start things off, I just kind of wanted to tell my story from the very beginning, and I actually had different plans for this type of video. The purpose of this video and the clips that you guys are gonna see was actually intended to be a pregnancy announcement. And now, sitting here right now, I am no longer pregnant. I had a miscarriage. I should say another miscarriage. This is actually my second one. And if you guys have been following me for a while, you'll know because I actually posted a video last year on my story. It actually happened 2 years before I even got pregnant with Harper, so it was a while ago. I'm posting a very similar video and something that I honestly was not expecting. I want to put out there that if you have gone through something similar, this video might be triggering for you, and I'm going to do the best I can to really make this a positive video, but I am going to be sharing my story. And you know, there's a lot of happy, positive things in this video, but there's also a lot of heartbreaking things in this video. To tell my story, I'm going to kind of walk you through the story, but also insert clips as well, because I would rather show you the real footage versus just explaining it. And regardless of the circumstances, I do still think that it is very special to look back on those videos, and it is filled with some hurt, but how I felt in that moment and everything, like nothing's gonna change how happy I was, and nothing's gonna change how much I loved and wanted that baby. To go through the timeline, give you guys a little backstory before we jump into things. I had an IUD placed in during my 6-week postpartum appointment after having Harper, and we decided that, you know, we obviously wanted a second baby, but in time we didn't want to have another one too quickly after having her. October, I'm not going to go into the details behind it. If you guys are curious about why I got it removed, I can do a separate video on that if you want. I was having some complications and whatnot, so I decided to get it removed in the middle of October. Right after that happened, I actually got pregnant, and it was a bit of a shock because that meant that this was like our first attempt, and we kind of weren't expecting to get pregnant that quickly, just because in the past with Harper it took us 6 months. This time it only took us 1. Right around the end of November, I suspected that I was pregnant. My husband also did as well, and I just felt very pregnant. I had very strong symptoms very early on. So I recorded a video of me talking about it and all of the symptoms that I was experiencing. Hi guys, so if you're watching this video, you already know by the title what's gonna happen in this video. I'm filming this before I actually know what's going on. I just wanted to kind of like sit down, give a little insight, talk to you guys before it all goes down. The one thing that I wish I would have done with my pregnancy with Harper is really document everything. I think it's December 5th. I have kind of had a suspicion for the past like 2 weeks or so, and I don't know. I know my body and something's off. I don't know if it's because I had an IUD removed a couple months ago, like 2 months ago, and my body's just kind of trying to find its way back to normalcy again, or if this is what I think it is. If it is, then that happened really fast. With Harper, it took us about 6 months to get pregnant. This time, I've only been off birth control for maybe a solid 2 months now. No, it's been less than 2 months. I got that out on October 13th, I think. So it hasn't even been 2 months. So if I am, that's insane. The past couple weeks or so, I've just felt really off. I wanted to really document everything so that I can remember, because I feel like my pregnancy with Harper, I kind of remember the beginning of it, but I don't remember like every little symptom that I felt. So I wanted to really document it this time so I can remember. My pregnancy with Harper, I feel like I didn't start feeling symptoms until maybe like 8 weeks. But since this is my second, I don't know if you feel things sooner, but I've just felt so weird the past 2 weeks. I've been very, very, very tired, like very tired. I've randomly felt nauseous lately too. I've had like a couple weird like headaches and stuff. My back's been hurting. I've also had like some weird cramps. Like I understand like you kind of cramp like right before your period or when you're ovulating, but I've had like weird cramps that don't really feel like menstrual cramps. They kind of just feel like somebody's like pinching me. I don't know. It's super weird. One thing that has really made me the most suspicious, to be honest, is the fact that I've been a little sore. With that being said, I don't know when I'm actually going to take a test because my period was supposed to start a day or two ago, and it's not unusual for it to be late. I've had like a few scares where my period's like 10 days late and I'm like, oh my god, this is it, and then it comes. So I have mixed thoughts right now. Like I think I'm ready, and obviously if I am, I'll be super excited and so happy. But if I'm not, we still have time, so I'm not too stressed. So the next time I come on here, it'll be to take the test. So we'll see. 5 days after I filmed that clip, I decided to take a test, and I wanted to surprise my husband for his birthday. I took the test on his birthday and he was out of town, and when he got home the next day, I surprised him. Today is the day. It is December 10th, 5 days since I filmed that last clip, and I honestly planned this for tomorrow. So I didn't really like get ready for the day. Michael is actually out of town for the next like 2 days. I thought this would be the perfect time to do this so I can kind of surprise him. It's not gonna be like that much of a surprise because we both already kind of suspected it, but I still wanted to kind of surprise him. Today is actually his birthday and he's gonna be home tomorrow night. So I don't know, I thought it would be special to kind of like do this, and if it's positive, it'll be his birthday present. So like I said, I'm going to take you guys through this whole process. Obviously, I'm gonna leave some parts out, like me physically taking the test. I'm not gonna show that, but once I take it and I have it, I will show you guys the results and my reaction. The box is open, test is out, and I'm going to go take it now. So I just grabbed my tripod so I could prop you guys up and I can do this. Not looked at it yet. This is the back side. I have not looked at it. Just gonna do it. Oh my god. I didn't think I was gonna cry. I like can't believe this. I mean, like I can believe it because I know my body so well. So I knew it like deep down in my soul, like actually happening now. Harper's gonna have like a little brother or sister. Oh my god. Okay guys, so here's a better close-up of the test that you could see. I thought for sure, I mean, I am like kind of early, I guess, but I guess since I took it after my period, it's pretty obvious. I thought I was gonna have like maybe like a faint line, but there is definitely no mistaking that there's 2 lines. I was very much in shock, very emotional, but very, very excited, very happy, very positive about it. Honestly, I did not expect for this to happen. Hi guys, so it is the next day. I feel like I have collected myself a little better. Honest, I'm still kind of in shock right now, and I feel like it'll feel a lot more real once my husband knows, and definitely a lot more real once we actually go to the doctor. Unlike my last pregnancy, I am honestly just trying to be so positive and just let myself feel really happy because I am happy. My pregnancy with Harper, I was so scared to be happy because I was so terrified of losing another baby. And regardless, I don't even want to say that's a thought in my mind. It is in the back of my head, but I'm trying not to think about it too much. And no matter what happens, I just want to enjoy this moment and really remember all the joy and happiness that I'm feeling right now. So I am ecstatic. I've been planning so many things already because that just makes me feel less stressed if I have everything planned out. So Michael is actually going to be home soon-ish, like in the next few hours or so. And I'm just mentally trying to prepare to share the news with him. I took the pregnancy test and I wrapped him in gift wrap, and then I threw that in a big box. So when he opens it, it's not super obvious, because I know for a fact if I just handed him a tiny box, he would probably know what it is. So I want to kind of stump him and surprise him a little bit, but I know at the end of the day, he's not going to be extremely surprised that I'm pregnant, but at least it's kind of special and it's for his birthday. So I have that wrapped and ready for him when he gets home, and I'm so excited to tell him. I am going to film his reaction for you guys, and again, this is all stuff that I wish I would have done the first time, but last time with Harper, I literally took the pregnancy test and walked out and fell on the floor and started crying with him. So this time I definitely want it to be a little bit more special. Anyways, he's going to be home soon, and then I'm going to film the reaction of him finding out.
Harper, look, that's wrapped fancy. This paper's fancy.
Dad open his present? Put a lot of work into that.
Ooh, stop it. You get your own Christmas, Harper. Ow. Holy moly, you're making me work for it. I'm working for it.
Thank you, saw Mom wrap that.
You wrapped it today?
No, today.
Oh my god. Are you serious? Holy moly. Oh god.
Don't take that
Ah,
off.
took the cap off, Harper. Harper, you have no idea what that is. Harper, you're gonna have a baby brother or sister.
Hey.
What? I leave for 1 day? 1 day? Come here, baby. Mwah. You excited?
Yeah, I'm really happy.
Harper, Mommy's got another baby. I was not expecting that in the first box. Not gonna lie.
That was the point. The day after I told him, I also told him that if he wanted, we could take a test together so that he could feel included. So I did take another test the next day, the next morning, and I actually messed up the test. I thought I had to pee more than I did, and so I kind of messed it up. That day when we were out running errands, we decided to pick up another test just to confirm it because I was still honestly in shock. I took it as soon as we got home. It said positive, and then I went back and looked at the test that I took that morning, and it did say positive. It was just a very faint line because I didn't take it properly. So these were the two that I took the day I found out. This was the one I took when I got home today, and then this was the one that I took this morning, so you can kind of see it's like a very, very faint line because I took it wrong. I didn't have to pee as much as I thought I did. So 4 confirmed tests just to make sure, because I'm that kind of person. I'm still such in shock right now. So we had 4 confirmed tests, and when I took the first ones, the line was so strong, it wasn't faint at all. I kind of took that as a good thing, having, my symptoms being a little bit stronger so early on, having a for sure test like that. I just honestly felt positive and good about this pregnancy. Last time I had a miscarriage, I definitely felt off the entire time. The day after we confirmed it with the other 2 tests, this would have been Sunday, December 13th. Honestly, that day, I did feel, I don't know, something did feel off about that day. I wasn't sure if it was just like pregnancy hormones, and we actually decided to get out of town and we drove up to Destin, which is like an hour away from us, just to kind of see something different. Couldn't put my finger on it, but I didn't suspect that it was because I was gonna miscarry. That night around 8 o'clock, we were watching a Christmas movie. I got up to go to the bathroom and I had some spotting. Nothing to be concerned about though, because I had the same exact spotting with Harper. It was very, very, very light. There wasn't a lot of it. I tried not to panic or anything like that, but to be honest, like as soon as that happened, I did kind of like have like a suspicion, and it kind of just felt like I got like punched in the stomach or something. Walked out and my husband instantly knew I was upset. And I told him what happened, and I was like, don't worry about it. Like, this is just me being overly emotional. And, you know, we kind of were just like, it's okay. Like, it's nothing to be concerned about, but we'll keep an eye on it. That night, I woke up at 2 in the morning and I had some cramps. They were very, very mild cramps, though. They kind of felt like menstrual cramps, but I wasn't in extreme pain. But deep down inside, I kind of like knew what was happening. And I was a little worried, so I kind of just like laid there, like not wanting to get up and know, because while I was still laying there, you know, there was like half of me that was like, I could still be pregnant, I could still be pregnant. Really, I got up, went to the bathroom, and it basically looked like I just started my period. It wasn't just like light bleeding or spotting anymore. It was enough to be concerned. I just basically sat on the couch and cried and prayed and just let myself feel everything I needed to feel. And eventually my husband woke up. At this point, it was probably like 3:30 in the morning. He came out and was like, what happened? Like, I woke up and you weren't there. And by the look on my face and everything, like, he knew. So we just sat there. He held me. I cried for a while. And, you know, there was a part of me that was just like, why me? Like, why do I have to experience this again? Like, I've done it before, and it was honestly the hardest, darkest thing that has ever happened to me. If you guys want to hear the story of my first one, I'll have that linked below. I don't want to talk about that one in this video because it would just take up too much time. My first one was not easy on me. It messed me up emotionally. I was just not doing okay after it. And I remember, you know, crying and telling Michael, like, I want it out. Like, I do not want it inside of me anymore, because you know it's gone, and it just is not a good feeling, honestly. If you haven't experienced that, it's hard to find the words to describe that feeling, but it's just not a good one. Honestly, didn't get that much sleep. I woke up the next morning, and the morning after, for a split second, you know, you wake up and, you know, you kind of forget. I thought that I was still pregnant, and then everything came like flooding back into my head. I tried the best I could to not let Harper see that. I'm not perfect. I'm human. I have emotions, and you know, she did see me cry. To be honest, having her was a huge help in general. So that day was just a very off day. Harper is still taking 2 naps a day, so she takes her morning nap and her afternoon nap, and she always takes her morning naps. Like, she never struggles with them. But for some reason, she skipped her morning nap that morning, and I don't think she has ever skipped that nap. That was hard because I was so tired. I wanted to go back to sleep and take a nap and just like be in bed. I went to grab her from her nap. It was 11 a.m. and I went to grab her, and as we were walking out of her room, I kind of felt it wasn't huge, honestly, but it was a gush of blood, and I kind of just like knew what was happening. And so I told my husband, I was like, I can't do this right now. Like, I need to go see what's going on. I went to the bathroom, and that is where I completely miscarried the baby. I'm going to spare all the details of that. Since I have gone through it before, I knew exactly what had just happened. I honestly, truly believe in my heart that that was an answer to prayer. Compared to my first one, this one was very sudden, very fast. The process happened honestly within a few hours. From the spotting to the actual miscarriage itself happened so quickly. Had no pain, no cramps whatsoever, no contractions. Bleeding wasn't even that heavy at all. And it was just, I don't know. It's not easy, obviously, but I feel like it went as smooth as it possibly could. I feel like that was God telling me that even though this happened, I'm going to try to make it as painless as I possibly can. That day, obviously, was not the best day. I wasn't myself. I was just very upset about everything. And unlike my first miscarriage, I really just allowed myself to feel everything that I needed to feel. I cried when I wanted to cry. I was upset. My husband was so supportive and did everything he could, even though he was working, to just step in and do everything he could with Harper so that I could just kind of relax. And that did help a lot. And it's hard. I mean, even to this day, it's only been a week. So, it hasn't been that long, but there's still instances where I get upset and I'm sad, and, it's not like I'm not allowing myself to be sad, but we are trying to remain positive and optimistic, move forward. I did a lot of things very different. I did a lot of praying, did a lot of devotionals, and just spending some time reading Bible verses, still watching other people's stories because that is comforting. And, just trying to be as positive as I possibly can in this situation. Me and my husband have continued to be very open in communicating with each other and with our emotions. I feel like it's very important if you're in a relationship to make sure that you're communicating that kind of stuff, because the first time I just thought my husband didn't care at all. And because he grieves differently, and I know that now, that we both grieve in different ways, and just because he's not laying in bed crying about it doesn't mean that he's not upset by it. So we've been very good about communicating this time with each other. We are trying to remain positive and optimistic in hopes that our rainbow baby will come. Honestly, crazy for me to wrap my head around it sometimes. Throughout this time, I have just really been trusting that whatever's meant to be will happen, and this wasn't our time. And, God's timing is everything. He has a plan. This wasn't part of the plan. Well, it was part of the plan. It wasn't the plan that I had envisioned. It is very unfortunate that miscarriages are so common, but it's still not common for people to talk about it. And I completely understand that. There is no pressure in any way to talk about it if you don't want to. But I personally believe that it is important for me to talk about it. I got so many responses and people reaching out after my last video, and at that moment I realized exactly why I posted that video, because I was just so overwhelmed by the amount of people that reached out and told me their stories and how much my video helped them. And that is the exact reason why I am posting this video. Not only is it helping me in the grieving process, but most importantly, it's going to help other women out there as well. If you have experienced this in your life, just know that you're not alone. It's a very common thing that a lot of women go through, and even though it's not talked about, it is not something to be ashamed of. It is not something to be embarrassed about. It happens, and you did nothing wrong. So do not let anybody convince you that it was your fault or you did something wrong or did something to cause it, because most of the time that is not the case. That's just how it happens. Most of the time, people do need to find some sort of blame and reason why. But unfortunately with miscarriages, that's just not how it works. So with that being said, most importantly, I just really felt like I needed to come on here and share my story. I didn't want to hide anything, and I didn't want to feel ashamed about this, and I just really wanted to help spread awareness, share my story, and let you guys know that I am okay. I personally know that I find a lot of comfort in knowing that I'm not alone in situations, and that brought me so much comfort once I realized that so many other women go through this and that we're in it together. If you guys need anybody to talk to, I'm definitely here. I've seen all your guys' responses, and I'm always here to talk to you if you need it. With that being said, there's not too much to discuss on the future because I don't know what the future holds. We are going to try for a second. Whenever it happens and the timing's right, that's when it will happen. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Like I said, not the video that I had planned, but I think a lot of good can come out of this situation. I do truly believe that. I love and appreciate you guys so much, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye.